La la la,
La la la.
la la la.
Thank you very much for the
Thank
interview.
you.
It
No, that was
great
really
to have you on
good.
the
That
show,
worked out
yes.
well. We're here with Milan. He's a glider pilot here in Omarama. What are you doing, Milan?
I'm a glider pilot here in Omarama. I running my one man show called Kahu Soaring, and I operate this lovely Duo Discus Dolores. And basically, that's a long story short. I'm flying these amazing mountains here, and I'm instructing people how to fly in the mountains and how to fly, and I'm also taking people off for trial flights.
Excellent. So, if I'm visiting Omarama, passing through, we can get in touch
Absolutely.
and organise a flight. And if we're an international pilot wanting to come here on a gliding holiday,
Get in touch. Of course, you can look up my webpage kahusoaring.nz, and then you will find all the information, my contact details here. Feel free to contact me, and I'm happy to help around.
excellent. And how long have you been flying for? What's your history?
I started gliding in '99 in Hungary, so that was 23 years ago. So 23 years of flying, and out of the 23 years, I was flying 9 years in Omarama. I was working for Glide Omarama for 8 years or 7, I'm not even sure, and I was on and off New Zealand and back to Hungary. But of course, since this new virus thing came, I don't know if you heard about it. I'm staying in New Zealand full time. Yay!
Yay! Yeah, so you had a lovely winter here.
It was not too bad. I had a bit of flying and
Yeah.
skiing, and it's better than the European winters, to be honest, especially during COVID times. Especially.
What do you enjoy most about flying in Omarama?
It's hard to put it together, of course, in a short sentence. Conditions here are quite challenging, I think, compared to other gliding sites, especially I've been flying at. And I like the challenge of the complexity here. I think that makes it very exciting. I don't think I would enjoy flying in the flatland sites and the famous flatland sites in Africa and Australia.
And
For me,
Meta.
that's and Meta, the famous flatland sites, because for me that is not difficult, not challenging enough in a way. And then here you have to really concentrate on the small details, and it's changing so fast. So you really have to be in touch of what's happening, and it's very satisfying when you get it right. And when you don't, it's a bit it can be very daunting. But
Yeah,
it's a
sounds
good
like
complexity.
you really need to come here and get some training. What I'm hearing.
Exactly, and I think it would flying here in this complex environment. What I found is when I was flying in the flatlands, I could get away flying, good tasks, competing without really paying attention to the small details of things. But here you must be knowing what the wind is doing. You must know what's happening around you, otherwise you can't go anywhere. And if you get used to be forced of paying attention to the small details and understand what's happening in the atmosphere, you can take that knowledge and skill set back to the flatlands, and I think that improves your flying quite a bit. And I noticed that when I every now and go back to Hungary, that my flying is greatly improved because of that. I recognize things in clouds and methods that I wasn't doing before.
Yeah, and I've noticed that just with my short time flying here. You really pick up, you have to be on top of what's happening with the wind, down low and at higher altitude. And you really start to appreciate that a lot more flying here, I think.
I completely agree.
Tell us a little bit about your glider.
Delta is a Duo Discus X, which has modifications compared to old Duo Discus. It has a
Ooh.
higher undercarriage with springiness, so it's a suspended undercarriage with the possibility to operate it from the back seat. So that's very great for what I'm doing. It also has landing flaps that
Yeah.
operates together with the air brakes and wingtips. So it's an upgraded version of the Duo Discus. It just was manufactured short time between the company put out the Duo Discus XL. It's basically an XL wing, apart from the air brakes, but it's the same. The fuselage is the same length as the old one. And I think it's a great improvement compared to old Duo Discus, especially in the mountains when you have to have landing on short paddocks. And the undercarriage and the flaps helps a lot, and it gives me much better confidence.
Yeah. And do you like how it flies? How it feels?
I think the Duo Discus is the most ideal glider for this area as a two-seater, because it has good enough performance, but it also have good enough maneuverability. I see that the guys with the bigger gliders and the heavier with the engines, they do very well on the wave days, of course, but they really struggle on the small thermally days maneuvering close to terrain.
Yeah.
And this glider is very well proven, especially in Omarama. The Delta has almost done 6,000 hours, in the 14 years it's been alive. It's manufactured in 2007. If you think about it, 6,000 hours in 14 years, it's not too bad.
No.
And also it's very forgiving, so I can let people who are not so good with thermaling about to fly about near the terrain, and I still have the margin of being able to keep the situation under control, because it doesn't have any vices. Stalling and spinning characteristics are really good, and it's very easy to recover. It doesn't have any bad habits. So I think Duo Discus is the ideal two-seater. I couldn't choose anything better.
Yeah, and what type of flying do you prefer, Milan? Are you more a wave pilot, or do you prefer ridge flying, or getting in amongst the thermals, or what do you like?
Omarama is of course most famous in New Zealand, I think, for the wave flights. Personally, I of course enjoy flying wave, but my favorite flights are the thermal days.
Yeah.
Especially the thermal days when the thermals are not too high, so we can touch with the terrain. When the cloud base is above 10,000 feet or 12,000 feet, it's very high above the ridges, so you cannot afford staying close to the ridges. But when the cloud base is just a few hundred feet off the tops, then you can just get away just flying the terrain always without stopping, and that's my favorite stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty magic, isn't it?
When you can just see that rock there and you see that the sun is shining, you can do it and just see where the thermal is. And this thermal is of course very small, so you have to actually predict where it's going to be and start turning before you hit the thermal. And as you were in the full developed turn, Forio comes up, and that's the most satisfying feeling for me, when you just really get it. And it happens every now and then when we get it. You all right?
Yeah, I've had a couple of days like that here. They're amazing. We'll just wrap up.
What do you like best about flying in Omarama, Tim?
Oh,
Give me that microphone. What do you like best about flying in Omarama, Tim?
I like thermal flying as well. Much
Good.
better than the wave flying. Wave flying is, it's okay to do occasionally, but it's very sameish sometimes, until it's different. I don't know. It's just, getting in amongst the hills and the mountains. I enjoy that the most. And then you can see stuff, as you say.
And can you tell us and all the viewers why you don't drink coffee?
I don't drink coffee because I drink tea.
We can't trust this guy. Unsubscribe. Thank you.
All right, that's enough from Milan.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has said enough, done enough.
Something better to do.
Anyway, if you're coming to Omarama, you're passing through, make sure you check out Milan's website, kahusoaring.nz.
Lovely
Yes.
photographs. Buy some photos.
That's an excellent point. You also are an avid photographer, and you sell prints and of the beautiful scenery here in Omarama from your flights.
Christmas presents, but perfect present for your gliding husband, whoever you are wanting to buy some amazing pictures.
Exactly. So
Join the webpage marketing. Yeah.
we should.
Yeah.
Anyway, check out his website, buy all his stuff, and come and fly with him, and you'll have a good time. I promise.
Simple.
You guarantee the weather to be amazing, don't you?
Always. In Omarama, it's always good.
And actually, seriously, that is one of the reasons why Omarama is such a good place to fly, because there's usually something that can keep you in the air, unless it's actually pouring the rain.
Yeah, actually, it's a funny thing that people usually want, before the COVID time, come here for 5 days courses, and the package what we used to sell guarantees 15 hours, and we never had to pay any money back because we couldn't fly that much. Maybe occasionally you had the worst case scenario, you had to fly some more hours on Saturday, but 15 hours in 5 days, it's almost ever guaranteed, which is quite remarkable, I think.
Yeah, exactly. No, there's only one other site in the world that's like that, and it's Matamata in the North Island. So, all right, thank you very much, Milan. We appreciate it.